Good morning. Monday, March 8th, 2021. Hope your weekend was great. I hope we're off to a great week. It's championship week in basketball. Indy Insanity coming this week with the Big Ten tournament starting on Wednesday. My Boilers got a double bye, so they don't play till Friday, which is great. And Indy Insanity is coming. So get your merch below. Have everything you need. The Indy Insanity, the Cup of Joey merch, all in the description below. So be sure you're part of history, man. Get it this week, get it today, get it now. That way it can get here by the time the tournament really gets going, the Final Four gets here, everything like that. So get it right now. That as well as the Cup of Joey merch, being the mug, the dad hat, everything down low. Subscribe to the channel. Had a great week of shows last week to start things off. Today we got Justin Tucker from the Baltimore Ravens, a guy that I hated with a passion for a long time, because he always stuck it to my team in the worst possible ways at the worst possible times, and then would do some sort of absolutely ridiculous celebration dance as a kicker. And but he was great. I mean, now we're buddies and we talked it out. You have to apologize. I'm at my sister's doing the show today because we moved, like I tweeted about last night, and we moved. And so of course, when you move, you don't have any internet or anything set up, right? Everything is just, you have this whole big deal of, all right, we're in, all the boxes are in, we're good to go. And then you don't have anything to do. You can't watch TV, you can't watch a movie, you have to find a hotspot, you have to do something like that because you have to wait a couple of days to get your Wi-Fi set up, the boxes are everywhere. So it's like this weird climax of you're rising up, all the boxes, everything you need is in there, and then it just swiftly falls just like that. As soon as you lay down, you're like, all right, we're done. And then you realize you're just getting started. So didn't have the internet set up at the new place. Came down to my sister. She has the internet. She also has a dog. And I brought Happy with me because I couldn't leave him. And they're trying to figure it out a little bit. So just beware that when you hear everything going on, it's because I got multiple dogs and they're not used to each other yet. So great show today. Justin Tucker, like I said, we had the All-Star game last night. I don't much get into the All-Star games, really in any sport. I take the All-Star breaks for the sports as an All-Star break for the fans as well. Like when they go on break and all the games of consequence and everything are done, I'm out. You know, growing up, I can't decide if they've just really gotten worse as I've gotten older, or it's just like when I was a kid, I just thought it was really, really cool. And now I've gotten older and I look back and I'm like, this really isn't that cool. Because I just had literally zero interest to watch the NBA All-Star game last night. Pro Bowl, don't even think about it. Doesn't even cross my mind. MLB All-Star game is probably maybe the only one I will watch just because that's the only game that is fun in baseball. That's when they do like the interviews with people playing in center field, you know, guys in the dugout, guys playing shortstop or, you know, coaching third base or whatever. And that actually is fun and interesting. And none of the other games are like that. So I do watch the All-Star game and Major League Baseball, but NBA and NFL, just holy cow, just hot garbage, man. No thanks. The dunk contest was last night. My guy Cassius Stanley for the Pacers got robbed. I don't know if, and now I'm getting into local radio guy, but I don't know if that's like a national media bias because, you know, who is this rookie second-round pick from the Indiana Pacers, and we don't want him in here. We'd rather go Obi Toppin or somebody like that. But that first dunk he did was insane, and he got a 44. I wasn't watching because, like I said, didn't have internet, didn't have cable or anything like that set up at the new place, but I saw it on Twitter, of course, and it got a 44. I was really disappointed. But that's part of the reason why I don't watch too. Because my guys don't get the fair shot in that. But I was thinking about with the dunk contest. The best dunk contest was an NBA Live 2003. Carmelo Anthony on the cover. Back in the day where it was like PS2 and GameCube was the main, you know, gaming consoles. That was insane. I need to see more of that. I mean, they were throwing it off the big screen behind the backboard. If you got really good enough, you could throw it off of the moving camera that follows everything, you know, that's on like that hanger. You could throw it off of that and then do a windmill and dunk it in. That was the best dunk contest ever, and that was in a video game. Remember those weird eras that we were in where like it was just all about the prop, like the best prop you had, that's who won. Like Blake Griffin, I think, brought out that whole choir to sing when he dunked, and then everybody's like, wow, I mean, that was a lot of effort. I got to tip the cap to him. That was, I guess, creativity points and a lot of effort. So we'll give it to him. Gerald Green had the cupcake. That was pretty impressive, though. Blew out the cupcake and then dunked. That was nice. When Dwight Howard won it, I still hated that dunk contest. And when Dwight Howard won it, he threw on the Superman cape, and then everybody made such a huge deal out of the dunk that he did and I hate when people just throw it through, right? That's not a dunk. You have throwing it down and then throwing it through. And that's what Dwight Howard did. Like he'd get close and he would literally just throw it, spike it as hard as he could and hope that went through. I didn't like it. Is this PFT without sunglasses? No, my hair's not that long yet, man. Yeah, JP, my back. Morning, Seth. The back, dude. It was just ridiculous. I could not believe it. We'll get into that into a second. But you remember that NBA Live 2003? It was like almost to a point of ridiculousness. It was like that. Okay. Like the good thing that this is a video game because we know that this would never happen in real life. Now I remember you would get close enough. Like it was like the controller would take over when you got close enough. So you would throw it off the backboard, and then if you hit it just right, the controller would like take over and do it for you and land the dunk. It would like go in slow motion, and your controller would be rattling and everything, and you could like start celebrating because you knew you got it. Apparently Zion missed a lot of dunks last night. I don't know what's going on with that. And somebody said that Cassius Stanley's second dunk wasn't that great. That's fine. I wasn't talking about the second dunk. I was talking about the first dunk, and that first dunk was great. So I don't know where the 6 points that got left off for that was, but had the All-Star game last night, dunk contest last night, 3-point contest. Domas Sabonis from the Pacers won the skills challenge. He was in it last year, and then he said, I'm going to come back. I'm going to try to win this thing, and he did. So good on Domas, Dude's got it going on. He's a stud. Crazy to think that the Pacers got him and he's their guy when Oladipo was the headline of the Paul George trade. But anyways, Justin Tucker coming up. I talked to Kevin Pritchard as well. I'll have that interview coming out this week. He's the president of the Pacers, president of basketball operations for the Pacers. So we talked about all sorts of things. So I'm talking about the Pacers now. I'll have the interview with the big man leading the charge up there. Aaron Gordon. Yeah, man, those are peak. The Aaron Gordon, Zach LaVine, those were insane. The under the chair, under the legs, where he was like sitting and Aaron Gordon's legs were literally horizontal to the ground. That was insane. For sure. So I moved over the weekend. And I hired movers. And it's all right. The dogs are going absolutely nuts. My sister doesn't like what can you do? You have to play with them somehow. They got a squeaky toy. That's all you can do. But movers are so worth it. I hired movers, right? We hired movers because couches, beds, dressers, all that stuff. No thanks. Don't want anything to do with it. They hire movers. God bless them, dude. What a job that is. Because afterwards, we had to move all the rest of like the loose stuff. And I tweeted last night, and I was just, I could barely get up the stairs. I mean, I needed to hold on to the rail to get up the stairs. And then once I laid on the couch, I was there for probably 2 hours. Luckily, I feel great this morning. Somehow I feel great this morning. I don't know how, because I had to sleep out on the couch by Happy so he wouldn't go crazy all night. But I wake up, I feel pretty okay this morning. Thank God. I thought I was not going to be able to move at all. But I'm thinking 27 years old. I work out at least 4 to 5 times a week. And I spend a weekend moving, not even the huge heavy stuff, just like consistently, up and down. And I can't move. What the hell happened to me? And also, how do these people who do this for a living, like I said, God bless them, how do they do that every single day? with not just the loose stuff in the boxes. We're talking they're picking up the couches, they're strapping the fridges to their chest with that thing over the shoulder, and they're just like walking down the stairs like that. I don't get it. So I had to put it out there because, like I said, it was just killing me so badly that I had to know. What is your responses to that? What is the moment or one of the moments where you said, damn, I am no spring chicken anymore? Because we all have those in different ways, whether it be something just isn't as entertaining to you or doesn't sound as good like going out on a Friday night, or maybe if you're trying to hoop or something like that, you pull something. I had to ask, and we got some really, really good answers. I pull a few of them up. This is from Dashman. He says, sitting on the floor. Can't do it comfortably anymore. As a kid, it was a piece of cake. Isn't that amazing? Something as simple as just squatting down, plopping down on the ground. There's no comfortable way to do it. Crisscross applesauce, still hurts the lower back. Your legs aren't flexible enough. If you sit with your legs in front of you and you do, the kind of high school assembly where your arms are together or your hands are together, and you wrap your arms around your knees like that, again, start hunching too much back. And then getting up from that is even more difficult than just sitting there, the pain of sitting there. Kids just roll around. I always love when like babies and little kids, when they're going to pick something up, they do it the right way. Apparently they don't like bend over at the back. They just squat down and pick it up to the side of them. And then at some point we all become, incompetent when it comes to that. And we start just bending down the back. And that's when you get to be me and saying, oh, why does my back hurt so badly? I don't freaking get it. Okay. How'd you know you weren't a spring chicken? This is from Drew. He says, I was 27 when I realized I was going to have to commit to a comb over if I wanted to wait until 30 to start shaving my head. The hair is an issue. And that's why when people ask me, why do you have your hair so long? It's time for a cut. This is exactly the reason. Drew gets it. I'm 27 years old right now. He was 27. He said, hey, I got a Gene Katie, comb this thing over, get some, grease and all the gel I can and slick it to a way where it covers the rest of my head, or else I just got to go SVP and cut ties. I'm not ready for that. So that's why I'm letting it go. Somebody says it's PFT without sunglasses. I hope I get to PFT's length. I'm going to be that someday. We all reach that point. Luckily, I'm not there yet, but I'm going to be the dude someday where I'm like, damn, I just got the ring around the head. I wear hats too much for that not to happen. Like, it's going to happen. Everybody always says, well, it's your mom's dad that you get it from. I don't know if I buy that, but because my dad's grandpa on his mom's side had a full thick head of hair. And now, on Ash Wednesday, I was behind him in mass, and they're not doing the thumb across the head this year because of COVID. They just sprinkled it on it. And I was like, what the hell's going on? Because I saw the ashes on the top of his head. That's how bald he is. But he still has the hair. But it's blonde, so you can see through to the head. That's how bald he is. That's what my future awaits. So I feel you, Drew. But hopefully you've just committed, if you're going to shave, I think everybody respects that. Everybody's got to have like that token bald guy in the group, You got to have like a token chubby guy, a lone bald guy. Everybody has their roles in the group. So you're just a bald guy now. It's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. From Bart, when'd you know you're getting up there? He said, tried to hook up a new game system in the student union of the university I work at and had no clue what I was doing. That terrifies me, man. Like having kids, I don't have kids yet, would like to someday. But sometimes I actually, on like a random Tuesday at the most insignificant time, I'll think, how am I on Christmas morning going to know what the hell I'm going to do to hook up a game system for my kid? That's terrifying. And at the at the union too, when I'm sure people are excited and they're like wanting the system to be hooked up now. And I got kids. I just picture in like, I don't know, 10 years, 8 years, I got 2 little kids and they get a gaming system for Christmas and they're just on me. Come on, I want it. Hook it up. I want it. Please. Please. And I am just going to be completely flustered. And I'll probably just say, ask your mother. There's plenty of role reversal. You know what I mean? Like I have no problem being, this is 2021. I got no problem, being the guy who does the laundry and vacuums. If that's my chores, so be it. I'm cool with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. It scares me though, man. And also, not only does it scare me, but it's like Christmas morning is kind of sacred. I don't want to be playing with a bunch of plastic, looking up YouTube videos or whatever the hell it is at that time to figure out how to put this thing together. From Eric. How'd you know you were starting to get up there? He says, when I say, quote, ooh, every time I bend down to get something, I'm 29. The older you get, the more sounds you make. It's just a fact. You actually go in like a weird cycle. It's literally, a never ending cycle of life. When you're a baby, you're making noises all the time. You won't shut up. You're always goo-goo and gaga and yelling and screaming and crying. And then when you get to be, preteen and a teenager and a young adult, you don't ever say anything. You don't ever make noises. You're a teenager. You're standoffish. You don't say anything. You're always just kind of, get out of my face. And then once you start to settle down a little bit and you get out of those phases, we come back to that cycle, and then you just start making noises all the time. my wife and even my grandpa, he's like, Joe, you make a lot of noises. You all right? I mean, it's like when you're getting into a truck or something, or when you're sitting down, how much better is it when you get in there or when you sit down and you just go, rather than just sitting down? Try it. Try both ways. The first way is so much better. That's why it's called taking a load off, right? Because you're just letting everything go. Get to bed, same thing. Picking something up. Oh, yep. Going up the stairs. Moving things. I used to make fun of, not make fun of, but me and my buddy used to laugh at his stepdad, because when he would move stuff and everything, he'd go. And I was like, why the hell is he doing that? Again, I was like 15 or 16. What is going on with that? What's up? Now that I'm older, I realize it's so much better to let that out of you. You're like letting out all that frustration and everything that's pent up while you're moving this bullshit dresser by doing that. You do that instead of like cursing. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily go, but I'm always like, I'm the annoying guy at the gym when I move things. Or when I just have to like pick up a dog toy and, throw it the other way. XD says, I'm not a spring chicken anymore because I got fat. Yeah, I mean, that'll happen to the best of us, man. It will. What's a few other ones? Shoot, I just lost it. So he had sitting on the floor, hooking up a game. Oh, man, this is my favorite, I think, from Chris B. He says, tried to fully launch a Frisbee for my dog. Tearing my rotator cuff. I could hear it. Couldn't throw right again for about 3 years. Something as simple as just trying to take care of your doggy. And a Frisbee. Not even a football, or something that, could maybe put extra emphasis on the shoulder when you're throwing it, extra weight on the shoulder or pressure. A Frisbee. You must have really had some whiplash on that thing, dude. But the best part, I think, is that he didn't say that he went to the doctor or got it fixed or anything like that. Chris just said he couldn't throw again. Right, he couldn't throw right again for about 3 years. So, my guy, just in a classic older guy, as you're getting older, since knew that he tore his rotator cuff, heard it, dealt with the pain, was stubborn enough for 3 years until it just kind of like either he got so used to the pain that it was okay, or it naturally just kind of nature healed itself. and Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but every single time that you lifted your shoulder above about right here, or you tried to throw again, or you tried to put the dishes in the cabinet, every time it was shoulder. Ooh, I think my rotator cuff every single time. And your wife or your girlfriend or whoever, your mom, whatever, why don't you go get checked out? Let's set up an appointment. Why don't you get that checked out? I'm fine. It's just a little tweak. Just a little tweak for 3 years until you realize that it was a torn rotator cuff. Here we go from Kelvin Page. How'd you know when you're no spring chicken anymore? Kelvin says, I got excited the other day because I bought a new vacuum cleaner. That's how you know when you're old. Yes. When things that from the ages of birth until at least 22, birth to 22, when you get things and you're excited about them, when you know that if you would have gotten them or even thought about them or people would have talked about them when you were 10, 12, 16, 18, that you would have wanted to kick your own ass, you're right, man. 100%. That hits the nail on the head. A vacuum cleaner, an air fryer, a coffee machine, a coffee maker, a fridge, a set of power tools. Any of those things, when you're excited about them, I'm sorry, but you're old. Luckily, I'm good right now, though, man. I don't know how. I was hurting. I got some more on Instagram that were pretty funny. People said heartburn a lot. Yeah. And I think about that too, because heartburn and acid reflux gets me really bad. But, when you're younger and you're watching football, of course they have the John Madden Prilosec and all that kind of shit that shows. And you're like, heartburn? Is it really, it burns? Is it that bad? And everybody's dad is like, you just wait. And it definitely was not worth the wait. I wouldn't wish acid reflux upon my worst enemy, really. Where are some of these? Some dude messaged me last night. He was being an idiot, so I put that up there. Here we go. I was in Home Depot the other day analyzing and critiquing home outdoor decorations. Home Depot, Lowe's. If you're a guy and you start going in there, you just kind of naturally, it just on a Saturday or a Sunday, you just wake up and you're like, I think I want to go to Home Depot. The flip is switched. You're done. It's over. You're out and about grabbing lunch. You drive past a Home Depot and your car just magically starts heading that way. You start veering in the lane to take you to Home Depot. Now you're getting old. I don't blame you, though. The smell in those places, and Subway, Lowe's, and Home Depot. Hell yeah. JP says socks for Christmas. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. I think traditionally, and when you think about it as you're growing up and everything, maybe you see on the TV and movies, socks for Christmas, sure, but I don't know. I like Nike Elites and Stance socks and different Argyle dress socks. Those are popular, and I was getting those. I was like, those are perfect stocking stuffers. You get Nike socks or Air Jordan socks in your stocking. Nothing wrong with that. So I see the gist, but I'm going to have to disagree with you on that one. I don't think you're old when you're asking for that. And my dog is taking a piss on the floor. Yeah, you just went out. My sister just took him out, trying to keep him quiet, and he just comes in and just lays a little tinkle on the ground. And he just looks at me while he does it. Like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. I run this joint. Yeah, happy? Is that good? He's right over there. Anyways, that's puppy. That's puppy life, man. I never got Nike socks. I just got straight black ankle Nikes. And I'm excited. There you go. You're not old yet, JP. You're not old yet. Guy who is certainly not over the hill. Hey. He doesn't like when he's up like that. Certainly not over the hill. One of the best to ever do it. My buddy, unfortunately, from the Baltimore Ravens. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's the dogs just choosing the absolute worst time to go nuts. I can't believe I'm saying it. My buddy now, I hate him for so long, but he's a great guy. Texas Longhorn, great. Baltimore Ravens legend. Statistically, and what a lot of people would say, the best kicker of all time, in the history of professional football. Justin Tucker. We talk about a lot of great things. Happy! Talk about a lot of good stuff. His kicking mindset, when it comes to being clutch, small talk in an NFL locker room. What does that look like? How does that sound? And how I impacted the Baltimore Ravens in 2020. Yes, me. I had an impact on the Baltimore Ravens locker room and their mindset for 2020. So here it is. Let me get the share screen. My guy, Justin Tucker from the Baltimore Ravens.
Cup of Joey with what a lot of people, even myself as a Steelers fan, would probably agree with, the greatest kicker of all time from the Baltimore Ravens, Justin Tucker. Justin, how we doing, my man?
We're doing good, man. We're staying positive and testing negative. Well, at least now we are. We're all good, man. How about you?
Doing well. Same. Thank you for the time. Appreciate you joining me. So that's one thing. Like I said, I had to wear this hat because that was when I first started noticing Justin Tucker was following me on Twitter, is because you responded well to the staying positive mantra. So what is that? Is that kind of, have you carried that over into the Ravens at all?
So we have. I love the genesis of the stay positive, test negative thing, because I like the way you described it. That water cooler guy at the office. Hey, how you doing? Oh, just living the dream. Yeah, in 2020, that guy is, staying positive, testing negative, and
Okay.
I got a pretty good kick out of that. So I said something along those lines in one of our first virtual team meetings it had to have been as far back as April, May, or June. I think Harbs got on and was just saying what's up to everybody. It was one of our first meetings. He said, "How's everybody doing?" And I just chimed in, hit the unmute, staying positive, testing negative. And he's like, "I like that." So we have a training camp T-shirt every year. So one year, one of my favorite ones was Marshall Yonda said at the end of practice one day, embrace the grind. So we got T-shirts that said embrace the grind. Last year it was nobody cares, work harder. And this year when we showed up for one of our first days of training camp, we had T-shirts in our locker that said stay positive, test negative.
No freaking way.
So I have to congratulate you on your humor has matriculated its way into the Ravens locker room. I know you're a Steelers fan. You might have qualms about it. You're going worldwide.
Yeah, a little bit of qualms, but at the same time, even though it's the Ravens, it is a message I think we can all get behind. So if that little bit can have an impact even on the Ravens in a positive way, then that's what we're all about. But see, that's what's funny, man, is that so Jim Harbaugh then started tweeting that, because I don't think John Harbaugh is very active on Twitter last time I checked, but Jim is. So he started tweeting that, and then people were like, "Wait, did you take this from him? Did you take all this stuff?" I was like, "No, I was the originator. That was me." So I think that it went from me, now confirmed by you, to John Harbaugh, and now Jim Harbaugh is using it. So we have
full circle.
What's weird full circle trickle down effect going on.
Yeah. Hey, good comedy is good comedy. Comedy doesn't know rivalries. Comedy just knows smiles. So just know you got a couple of good ones from me and my friends.
That's awesome, man. That's wild. But so when normal people, and I say normal people who don't play in the NFL, like you said, they have like the water cooler talk, they have the bullshit small talk. Does that go on in the NFL, like by lockers and stuff like that?
Oh, no question. So whenever the term locker room talk, by the way, gets thrown around, it's always like, oh man, what are those guys talking about? You know, like people have this idea that we're just like talking about just like the worst, most ridiculous things, but really it's about the same conversation that you would expect at the water cooler. If you're working in a tech, it's pretty commonly like, hey, how's the family? And like, oh, the kids are doing great. The kids are in school. These kids, they're handling this COVID stuff way better than we are. The kids aren't even complaining about wearing their masks. I mean, like, so like our conversations are, most of the time much less entertaining than one from the outside might expect. I think there's a much higher rate of Kobe versus LeBron versus MJ, who's the GOAT conversations occurring on a pretty regular basis. But I also can't say like I know, because this is the only real job that I've ever had. So I don't really know what typical water cooler talk or outside of the locker room talk actually looks like.
The family, you hit it on the head there. That's pretty spot on. Where do you reside on the MJ LeBron debate?
I mean, why can't we not appreciate all the rings, all the points? That's such a cop-out answer, I know, but
very cop-out.
Yeah, I mean, like, hey, Kobe even said
3-2-1, Jordan LeBron. Gun to head, 3-2-1, Jordan LeBron.
Kobe. 3-2-1. 3-2-1 is Kobe.
No. I'm talking like, I was trying to push you to get to say the answer. I was trying like gun to head, Jordan LeBron. What is it? Like, you got to just answer it.
I think it's Bron. All right, so I think it's Bron, and I can't just like leave it at that. Like, I've got to expound upon that. I think MJ had this. One of the all-time talented athletes across all sports, had that killer instinct. I mean, I think like everybody else watching The Last Dance I was blown away. I had a pretty good idea about, like the player MJ was, and like the type of personality that or the type of mentality that he took to the court. The attention to detail and keeping the standard, to borrow one of your favorite head coaches sayings, keeping the standard, and just playing at such a high level. And I didn't realize how personally he took literally everything. There'd be something that like, I mean, like what was the that he like made up essentially like a conversation or like an interaction that he had with another player, and the other player was like, yeah, I don't feel like I ever said anything like that to him.
I think it was Reggie Miller.
I feel like it might have been, and he's like, yeah, I don't even really remember like saying anything like that. And then MJ like was like, well, I took that personal.
Yeah, it's an all-time meme now. It's
no question. I mean, so MJ had like had the killer instinct, had all the talent in the world, but I do think LeBron has like he's just such a athletic, just freak of nature. He's he's so big and so fast and so strong, and his athleticism is transcendent. Similar to like Bo Jackson when he was playing. Like Bo Jackson could be playing right now, and I think he would still be dominating. He's just like that transcendent of a type of athlete. Sure. So that's why I think LeBron would have to be, for me, number one. To me, it's like it's 1 and 1A. I mean, like I said, like you got to appreciate greatness in all forms. They're kind of different players, but you just look at like all of the greatness and glory that they've brought their cities and the teams that they play for. It's hard to just pick one.
It's
If I had to do it, it's LeBron.
and now we're officially in water cooler talk.
Yeah, here we are.
There's become a water cooler talk segment. How often speaking of that, how often especially because you're with the specialists of the kickers, weather has to just be a huge conversation for you guys, right? I mean, you got to know the forecast and everything.
Like, yes and no. All right. So like Wednesday morning, every week, we have our special teams meeting early in the morning. And there's frequently parts of the meeting, or there's a good chunk of the meeting where I'm not going to be like directly involved. So that's when I do my initial weather report for what Sunday is going to look like. So I just look real quick, like, okay, well, generally speaking, what's the weather kind of going to look like? If we're playing outside, which we always do, then it's a factor. And I bring it up to Sam just to bug him about it because he just hates hearing about the weather because he's like, the weather's going to be the weather. It doesn't matter. It's going to change 40 times between now and Sunday anyways. So don't bring up the effing weather to me anymore, Tucker. And of course I'll be like, all right, well, I mean, just so you know, it's going to be 36 degrees with an 8-mile-per-hour crosswind, south-southeast, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Right.
But I mean, it's definitely more of like a thing. Sunday morning, I will I'll sound like such an old man when I say this, but Sunday morning when I wake up in the hotel, wherever we're staying at, but like I'll flip on the TV and I'll go to the like local news, or I'll go to the Weather Channel and I'll just watch it for 5 or 10 minutes while I'm like brushing my teeth and changing my clothes and stuff.
Yeah.
But man, I sound so boring right now.
No, it's always a go-to. That's what we're talking about. That's for regular people. You say you've never had a job. If I'm at the coffee machine, or somebody kind of walks in, there's just time to kill. You don't really want to stand there in awkward silence. You got the old, man, I can't believe that it's been this warm in December. And then that automatically starts it up, and it gets you through to where you can go your separate ways, and it's not totally awkward. So there you go. Do you think you could be a local, like, have you done a weather report in Baltimore? Like, have you gone on TV and done the whole, like, got a strong headwind coming in this way?
I wish I had that sort of dexterity, but in order to pull that off in front of the green screen, everything you have to do backwards, like as like the weather person. I cannot for the life of me. In like 4th or 5th grade, we had like the elementary school news-wide, or the school-wide news broadcast that the students would put on. And we had like a little green screen and all that stuff. And I would like try to, point out like stuff that would pop up, like a little graphic that would pop up, and I'd be on like the complete wrong side. The thing would be over here. Like, I'm having a tough time figuring it out on this Zoom call right now.
Right. Yeah. If I'm trying to fix this side of my hair, it's the opposite. Same thing. Yeah.
It's like the water flushing down the toilet in Australia. Like, it spins the opposite direction first time you see it. Totally freaks you out.
Does it really?
Yeah. It's like that's a Wedding Crashers reference.
Oh, okay. You big movie guy?
I'm definitely a movie guy. I say, whenever I say I'm a movie guy, as soon as I say that, someone will be like, "Oh, have you seen this?" And the answer is usually like, "No," but I'll write it down. I'll watch it in 3 years.
Right. Yeah. What's your go-to? What's your movie? What do you like? What are your top 3? We're doing top 3s today.
Top 3s. And it's really hard to just rattle them off like that. I like when I hear top 3, I'm like, what's the last 3 movies that I watched?
Sure.
My wife and I just finished watching the Twilight movie series.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry.
No, it was my idea. And we started watching the first one, and it brought back, because like those movies came out in like 2000. Yeah, 2000. Yeah. And I remember the movies just being like so hyped up, and all the preteen like girls and boys like going to the movie theater, and line wrapped around like the entire mall just to watch freaking Twilight. And I mean, the movies are so bad. They're terrible movies. But just like the brooding like moodiness of like the vampires and like like this like Taylor Lautner is supposed to be this like tough werewolf kid, but he's got like this kind of like high voice. It just like doesn't, none of it like like just in the first 15 minutes of the first movie alone, like, you know, if you're watching a movie with your wife or something, you do like the look sideways to see the reaction. And
are we in this or are we moving on to something else?
Yeah, we were like looking at each other like every like 3 or 4 minutes, like, are we actually watching this? Like, we gonna do this?
And you powered through.
We did. We powered through. And there's 5 movies. There's because the last 2 are like broken up into. I mean, that's the magic of Hollywood right there. The business of Hollywood. You know, just raking in Mad Skrilla for those last 4 flicks. But
yeah, Mad Skrilla, dude. What? That is. I got to add that into my vocabulary there. Mad Skrilla. I love. We just did that with the Hunger Games. Actually, have you watched the Hunger Games?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a good.
Those are good.
I like this. I definitely like the storylines there. Like to me, Hunger Games would be way sweeter if it was. I mean, they're PG-13 movies because they got to be. You know, they're like the young adult novels. Like they've got to be like accessible to like the kids who read the books. So you can't have Katniss Everdeen like dropping F-bombs all over the place, or like, you know, like
appetiting,
like having like just blood like pouring down her arms or something. Like I would love to see like the reiteration of Hunger Games. Well, I guess it already exists. It's probably, you could probably just say like The Purge, and that's like
Thrones, maybe. I don't know if you're a Thrones. I'm not really a Thrones guy. I don't know if you're a Thrones. You kind of strike me as a Thrones guy.
We definitely watched all of Game of Thrones. Yeah. It got a little. It got, like, so many people complained about the final season, about how it didn't live up to the hype, you know, of all the other ones. Like, I mean, I still enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty sweet. I borrowed a celly after kicking like a nice long kick, you know, one that just splits the uprights, comes off the foot like right how you want it. There's like the ice guy, like the whatever his title is in Game of Thrones, like the Ice King guy. He's like the gladiator style. Like,
oh yeah, I think you did that against the Steelers probably because I wanted to punch you in the face.
Yeah, a time or two.
So I wanted to ask you about that though, with the celebrations. Did you like look up to the Grammaticas a lot when you were growing up? I mean, you've nailed some pretty good kicker celebrations.
You know, I've kind of I bring that up, and then like I've more recently just kind of gone away from like the ridiculous sellies because I see
you've been a little tame. Yeah,
I see like the video, like I've seen the videos of myself or the GIFs that, which is like I mean it's really it's both like embarrassing, like cool all at the same time that I have like GIFs of myself.
Oh, you're a GIF guy. You don't call them GIF. You're on the GIF side.
So what are you?
GIF. GIF as in like gift, like without the
so I mean, like what is GIF? You almost caught me. I almost said GIF. What does GIF actually stand for? I know the first word is graphics, like interface.
Graphic interface.
Okay. So like it would make sense. Yeah, it would make sense. The founder or the creator of the GIF said that it's pronounced GIF, but either is acceptable because it stands for graphics interface.
Okay. All right. Anyway,
whatever it stands for.
I'll look it up. These celebrations, why are they tame now? What, you're embarrassed? What's going on?
Oh, I see the GIFs and I'm like, man, like I dance like that, or man, I look like that. I gotta like take it down a notch. So there's also like, I don't know, there's just it's kind of like a different energy that I feel like I've been playing with the last several years. Like I feel like I'm just out there to do my job. I'm out there to contribute. I'm out there to put points on the board, and I just want to win. You know, I want to perform well, and I want to win. And
do that.
Like all of the stuff, all of the, you know, celebrating. Like I get more joy out of watching my teammates celebrate when they score touchdowns or like lay somebody out or whatever else it may be. Like, you know, I don't need to as much of a me guy as I definitely like Morgan and Sam, our long snapper and punter.
Yeah.
Like they would agree with this. As much as a me guy as like I kind of like pretend to be, I really just want to see my teammates do well, and I want to win, man. So like the other night we got to knock down. I emphasize we got to go knock down a game winner, like a tough kick on the road, Cleveland, Monday Night Football, and
unreal. Yeah.
I mean, I just was really more than anything. You're kind of overcome with like a sense of like relief and just like satisfaction. And then after the fact, when we're all in the locker room, all masked up and celebrating, that's when we have fun. But
sure.
I mean, like I still knew there were 2 seconds left on the clock. I've seen too many movies play out where there's like some crazy, multilateral play like that flips the game on its head, like on the last play. And I mean, it's definitely like it's why any young kicker like starts playing. It's like they want like if they want to be great, they want to be in those moments, and they want to like win in those moments, because that's like the most fun shit ever. But then like now, fortunately, having done that a number of times, it's almost more of like a relief. It's like I expect myself, we expect me to do just that. So I don't know. Yeah, it's like a different energy that I feel like I've been feeling the last couple of years, and it's been working for us, and we're winning a lot of games, and we've got a good thing going. So I don't want to get in the way with a really shitty version of my hotline bling dance.
Can you? Okay, so I get asked to be put on the spot a lot with what I do, and then I enjoy it and everything like that. It can be sometimes like, if I'm at a bar or whatever, and somebody asks me, "Oh, can we get some Mel Kiper?" I'm kind of like, no, not right now. Anyway, my point is, I'm going to put you on the spot here. My sister, Maddie, she's 23. She loves to hate your celebrations so much. So could you possibly give me a little like air guitar, say like, Maddie, this one's for you. Give me a little Justin Tucker like air guitar real quick. I could just something, because I got to be the brother and I got to stick this knife in her a little bit. It'd be so funny. Can you do something for me? Do I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's only fair, as a man who understands, you get put on the spot with all the impressions, I'm sure, all the time. So I can give you just that little air guitar. Maddie, this one's for you.
Oh, that's gonna be so killer, man. That's awesome. That was freaking great, dude. Oh my gosh. Are you on TikTok?
I'm definitely not on TikTok.
You can be good on TikTok, but it's the Steelers, we're dealing with a lot of distractions with all that bullshit. So I hear you. Are you too old for it, you think, or?
Probably. Yeah. My wife just walked in and she nods. Yes. I'm definitely too old. I'm not like I said, I'm definitely not a good enough dancer. Like Juju can dance. So,
he can. Yeah.
So, and he's a younger guy, so totally makes sense. Plus, like, social media is, I mean, as you well know, social media is like so huge for like growing a brand and all that stuff. So, hey man, that's part of it. What makes him. Like he's super entertaining on and off the field.
Nah, you're right. I know. Hey, did settle it for us? Did Lamar shit, or was that cramps?
No to the former. No, he was like legitimately like seizing up, and he needed an IV and then some. So
yeah, I figured, but there's just conspiracy theorists out there, and I figured, if I have a Raven, I got to ask the question. I wouldn't be doing my journalistic duty if I didn't. Last one for you here. When you're kicking in these situations, have you seen Happy Gilmore? Movie Happy Gilmore?
Oh yeah,
of course. Happy place. Do you have a happy place? Is that where you go to when you're 57-yarder with a game on the line, or what's your process mentally?
I really just try to keep it as simple as possible. I try to not think about all of the extraneous stuff. I just think about the action of seeing my foot hit the ball, seeing the ball leave my foot and go right towards a small target that I picked out. And not to get all like existential or yogic on you or anything like that, but like it's really about being like present and being like in that moment and appreciating it, having like just an acknowledgement that like it's totally okay to have every feeling all at the same time. Like you can be confident, you can be nervous, you can be scared, you can be feeling all of those things all at the same time, but none of that will actually affect the outcome of the play. Like the only thing that will affect the outcome of the play is like making my body do what it's supposed to do, and that's just see the ball and kick the ball. And I sound like a broken record because I've said that a lot of times, especially recently. But it really is. It has to be as simple as that. Now, there have been plenty of times where something will kind of get in my head, like, man, like, all right, why am I thinking about this so much? And then, it's like it could be, oh, the field is really torn up right now. Like, I really need to make sure I get my studs in the ground so I don't slip or I sink, and then I push the ball or pull it or whatever it may be. And we've still made kicks while I've been like thinking about something like that. But when the ball comes off my foot how I want it to, it's because I'm only thinking about like three things tops. It's seeing the ball from Morgan's fingertips, spotted by Sam's, picking out like a dimple on the ball that I'm going to hit with the like metatarsal on my on my foot, and then planting wide, jumping downfield, and just seeing the ball go where it's supposed to go. I said three things and I said like 40, but there you go.
That was a master class right there in kicking, man. There's people are going to be, fucking using that. You should be getting paid for your lessons mentally and existentially.
I'm being compensated pretty well, so I appreciate the Ravens for that.
Oh, that's true for physically, but I just meant like then on the side, I think Denzel Washington does like master class in acting. You can do master class in kicking. You know what I mean? Like to double up on it, to teach people.
Also, it's also fake it till you make it type of thing. Like I'm just here so I don't get fined.
There you go. Justin, I know you got meetings and everything, man. Thanks so much. A lot of fun to meet you and talk to you, and best of luck the rest of the way, my man.
Yeah, good to meet you. Big fan of yours as well. Keep up to the McConaughey's and the Mel Kipers and the Coach O's. Gold Tigers.
All right, buddy. Talk to you.
Justin Tucker, Baltimore Ravens. What a guy. Dogs in the background throughout. That's all right. It's just part of it. You just roll. You stick and move. And I promised you every day I'd be here 9 to 10 at least. And that's what I'm doing. So I'm going to have a cool new background once we get the internet set up. Tomorrow, I just got word. Tomorrow the internet's going to be set up. But it won't be in time for the show. So it's going to be Monday, Tuesday, somewhere, wherever I can do it. And then Wednesday we'll be back. We'll be in a normal spot. We'll have internet. We'll be good to go. So another good start to the week in the books. Justin Tucker was great. Like I say right here, Indian Sanity, Cup of Joey merch below. The links are below. Get those. Get them in time for the tournament starting. Conference tournaments start this week. Selection Sunday, this upcoming Sunday. Get your Indian Sanity shirt as well as the Cup of Joey mug so you can share a cup of coffee with me every morning. Thanks so much for being here. Tomorrow, I'll be talking to you again live at 9.